The Cesar Chavez Library reopens. The ribbon cutting today and the theme that ties the library to the Monterey Peninsula. A violent day on the Central Coast, 3 shootings in 45 minutes. We have the latest details. And our top story, the storm watch. The worst over, but drivers dealing with the aftermath.
You're watching KSBW Channel 8, Salinas, Monterey, Santa Cruz. This is Action News 8. Coverage you can count on.
Well, you're taking a live look outside right now at Skycam 8 Santa Cruz at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The sky clear after the largest in a series of storms that's battered the Central Coast. Good evening, I'm Brittany Nielsen. We do begin tonight on the storm watch with team coverage. Action News reporter Tom Miller is in Santa Cruz with the latest there. But first, we want to go ahead and check in with forecaster Art Jarrett, who joins us with a look at where the storm stands right now. Art.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brittany, the skies did clear out around San Francisco earlier today, and then through the afternoon they cleared out throughout here in the Central Coast. Well, now going back towards the south and east, you can see the storm trailing out over the last 24 hours, and that's going to bring a little light showers or so for folks down in King City. They've been really not catching much lately. Now, getting back to a little bit closer here, so over the last 6 hours, you can see how it cleared out nicely throughout the area, and now that rainfall continues to move in through the mountains, and that's going to drop. It really was a doozy, I tell you. It brought up to 4 inches of rainfall in some parts of the Santa Cruz Mountains. And, well, here, most of the severe watches we've had over the last few days now, they are all but gone for our area, and that's a good thing. We're getting back to normal. As we saw around 2:30, the sun started to break and the rainbows started to break out for us. Okay, I told you about the South County light rain, decreasing clouds, and it's going to be a bit cooler now as we're going to have some cold air just kind of driving right back to our area. I'll talk about that in my next weather, Britt.
All right, Art, thank you so much. We will get more from you in just a little bit. But first, we do want to go now to Action News reporter Tom Miller, who continues our team coverage. And Tom, yesterday the main concern was drivers struggling to keep their cars on the road. But today it seems as though those same problems have multiplied. And with those, you got a lot of major power outages.
That's right, Brittany. At the peak, around 4,700 PG&E customers were without power here in Santa Cruz County, with 4,200 of those being in Santa Cruz, in the Santa Cruz Mountains. But now, after this storm has rolled through, the focus shifts to recovery. Trees toppled, lines down, and thousands were without power. This, the aftermath of the latest storm in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
When you hear about small pockets that still don't have power, well, that's us.
Well, some drivers follow the signs and turn around here in Felton. Others risk it and sneak their cars under this uprooted tree propped up by active power lines.
Pretty typical. Yeah, there's all kinds of canopies of trees during storms like this.
Meanwhile, just north of Scotts Valley, a landslide takes out part of Vine Hill Road, causing headaches for drivers and at least one property owner.
I just watched the road just break off and fall away and wash down my property into the creek, and I've lost several trees.
A flash flood warning went into effect Sunday morning before being lifted just hours later. But that's not stopping people from keeping an eye on rivers known to cause damage. As for the San Lorenzo Valley River, right now it's at about 15 feet, high enough to pick up loose debris, but it would need to rise another 3 feet for these homes behind us to be threatened here in Felton Grove. These brothers live nearby and want to see firsthand whether or not the river will creep up to their home. A lesson learned after a close call 2 years ago.
We're kind of worried of it going inside, but it stopped raining for that.
From inside the County Emergency Operations Center, Paul Horvat monitors all the action and isn't worried about the river.
We're not expecting any heavy rainfall, so that river should drop, and we're not anticipating any evacuations.
Back in the San Lorenzo Valley, PG&E grounded its crews after high winds created dangerous conditions. By mid-afternoon, things calmed down and the work resumed. But the road to recovery remains a long one. And at last check, 950 customers remain without power in the Santa Cruz Mountains. As for that sinkhole, Vine Hill Road will be closed at least through tomorrow and really until any permanent fix is put into place. Brittany.
Tom, thank you. That's some impressive video we saw there. We want to take a look now at some video that was taken Friday by surf instructor Dylan Greiner at Cal Beach in Santa Cruz. Tom actually told you about this a few weeks ago. Greiner says he found more than a dozen hypodermic needles that he believes were washed out of the rocks in front of Westcliff and then into the ocean during the storm surge.
A few of them were actually sticking with the needle up out of the sand. It would have been really easy to walk by and kick one barefoot with booties, surfing booty. It would have gone right through a surfing booty.
And for the past month, Greiner has lobbied the city council to clean out the trash there, but he says not enough is being done. Take a look now at this. Dangerously low power lines, live power lines. These forced crews to block off a section of Casanova Street in Monterey this afternoon. Crews have been clearing lines there all afternoon. And big waves from this third and probably most severe storm. It actually brought people to the beach instead of keeping them home in some places. Action News reporter Jacqueline Mazer has more on that story tonight from Marina.
Powerful wind, heavy rain, and high surf. Marina State Beach is being pummeled by the storm.
Nice to get some exciting weather. Besides, the East Coast has had all the attention over the last 2 or 3 months.
Carrie Dickerman lives right up the street and tells us these winter storms are really something. He's so impressed. He left the house with no shoes to make sure he didn't miss out on all the action. But Carrie is not the only extreme beach goer. 7-year-old Nico Arias shares with us his impression of the rain, waves, and all that wind.
And as you can see, we're not lying about the wind. It's gusty out here. I have almost all my weight back on this wind. The wind is keeping me from falling over. Let's take a look over here. We can see this section of the parking lot is almost completely flooded. The water itself flowing down back into the beach.
No one brave enough to face the horizontal rain and wind mixed with sand on the beach. It's much safer watching all the action from the parking lot. Waves tossing and turning, churning from all the wind. A breathtaking sight to be seen.
Beautiful. That's what we came to see. Just to see all the big waves.
In Marina, Jacqueline Mazer, KSBW, Action News 8.
And in Carmel today, we want to take a look. Heavy rainfall had public works departments digging trenches in the Carmel Lagoon this afternoon, but so far, no plans to breach the lagoon. That could change, though, if wet weather does continue. The strong storm system has knocked down trees all over the state. This video is from Sacramento, where crews clearing up large trees that fell across the roadways there. Cleanup there will continue throughout the night. And that same area was also saturated with about 2 inches of rain between yesterday and this morning. Farther east along the Truckee River, temperatures were lower than expected, so snow replaced the heavy rain that was forecasted, reducing actually the risk of flooding. And rain has the Napa and Russian rivers on the rise. You can see muddy waters here churning with debris. Flash flood warnings are in effect for Napa and Sonoma counties. The National Weather Service also warning about the possibility of mudslides. And in Carmel, the storm seemed to put a little bit of a damper on the holiday spirit. This Christmas tree lot in the Crossroads Shopping Center completely empty, except for the trees there. We only saw one shopper brave enough to brave the elements to find their perfect tree. And make sure you keep updated about the storms with us. You can check out our interactive radar, sign up for breaking weather alerts, and don't forget, you can also download the KSBW weather app for free, so you'll have important phone numbers in case of flooding or power outages in your area. It's all there at ksbw.com. On the Crime Watch tonight, 3 shootings this afternoon, all within 45 minutes of one another. The first one happened on the 200 block of Tout Street in Salinas. Police say a rival gang member gave another gang member a ride across town. The passenger then pulled out a gun, shot the driver, and fled on foot. Police say the driver thought he was going to get shot again, so then he hit the gunman with his car and crashed it into a home. Police have one suspect in custody. The driver is expected to recover. The second shooting happened on the 900 block of Rock Rose Street, also in Salinas, about 20 minutes later. Police say a gunman knocked on the door of a home, challenged the victim, firing numerous times through the front door. The 33-year-old victim was shot multiple times. The gunman took off in a vehicle wearing a Giants beanie and shirt. The victim is expected to be okay, but was airlifted to a Bay Area hospital. Then the third shooting, this one in Watsonville, happened just after 2 o'clock. Police say a 38-year-old and his 46-year-old father-in-law were leaving Mark Lee's gun range at Vic Rue and Blanca Lane when a gunman demanded their weapons. After a struggle, the gunman shot the 38-year-old man in the leg. He was taken to a Bay Area hospital where he is expected to make a full recovery. Some road work for you to be on the lookout for tomorrow. Caltrans beginning construction of the new San Juan Road interchange project. It'll remove 3 major intersections, replace them with a single interchange at San Juan Road and Route 101. The $91 million project is along Highway 101 between Dunbarton Road in Monterey County and Cole Road in San Benito County. Well, today the newly renovated Cesar Chavez Library on Williams Road reopened after nearly a year of renovations. Those renovations made possible by Measure V, and the new look is impressive.
Look at all the thousands of people that are here. They think the libraries are important because we can help them achieve their dream, and this library belongs to them, and it's beautiful.
Well, the theme is Agua, water, and the lobby has a big screen TV featuring a live feed from the Monterey Bay Aquarium. There's also a huge selection of new books and dozens of computers. The grand opening and ribbon cutting started today at 2. The library is now open to the public. Still to come on Action News 8, a kindergarten teacher locks a 5-year-old in a dark room, then forgets about him. How he's doing tonight. Plus how fans react to the news of the Chiefs linebacker's murder-suicide. It's all coming up next on Action News.
You're watching the #1 news choice on the Central Coast with Brittany Nielsen and KSBW weather with Art Jarrett. Coverage you can count on. This is Action News 8 at 6.
In news across America, Kansas City Chiefs fans returned to Arrowhead Stadium for the first game following Saturday's shocking murder-suicide. Police say linebacker Jovan Belcher shot and killed his girlfriend before killing himself at the team's practice facility. The team has already been dealing with controversies and 8 consecutive losses. An Idaho kindergarten teacher investigated for isolating a 5-year-old boy, leaving him in a dark room for over an hour. But then she forgot about him and left him at school. Parents, of course, outraged. The boy is expected to be fine. Forecaster Art Jarrett joining us now with a look at our weather, and there's a lot to look at today.
There's a lot to look at. In fact, a lot of folks up in the Santa Cruz Mountains had difficulty with those streams, as Tom showed us. But all it takes is just a little bit of inundation and then a little bit of leaves or branches, and that just really messes us up. Let's take a peek outside here, and we'll see what's going on. It's really nice out there now. It's going to be a bit cool later on in the evening as it progresses, but our temperatures still in the 50s. And I'll have your complete forecast coming right up for you.
Now, KSBW weather with Art Jarrett.
Well, welcome back. This is a look at Alisal Road, just south of the Salinas Airport. A little bit of rainfall on the water, on the roadways, and that's causing just a little bit of flooding going on for some folks. Well, let's get right back to the weather, and we'll show you here what's going on as far as rain totals go. Over 4 inches in the Boulder Creek, Ben Lomond, just about 2.5 near Scotts Valley, getting over 1 inch in Santa Cruz, almost 1 inch out in Watsonville. Most of the rainfall, too, fell on this area here. You can see a nice little widespread portion of all that rainfall throughout the area. Carmel Valley picked it up as they are in higher elevation as Big Sur. And then towards the Salinas Valley, you can see it just kind of petered off a little bit. Now, King City, just over the last hour or two, has just now picked up 1/10 of an inch as all that rainfall now is kind of kicking through their area. Back towards the Santa Clara Valley, almost 1 inch for San Jose and 2 inches for Gilroy, and not much for Hollister. All right, here we go to it here. The clouds are just starting to move out. We see some good clearing going on here, except for a little bit of hits that pass right through over the mountains or the Santa Lucias. And as the night progresses, we'll see some cooler air come in, especially coming in from the northeast, as much cooler air is going to spill right into the area. And we're talking chilly temperatures. Snow levels are going to drop. In fact, there may have a couple of inches coming towards the Sierra Nevada as far as snow goes. That snow is now going to be falling instead of rainfall. Here you have it. Back here, another system is about to push in as well, and that's going to come in around, say, Tuesday. We'll see that passing through in just just a second here. The clear skies for Monday with a little partly cloudy conditions picking up later on. And then there you have it. The rainfall starting to move into the North County area by San Francisco. And then we'll see a little bit of that trickle down for us Tuesday going into Wednesday. But for that, look at this here. We're going to be seeing some nice temperatures here, mostly in the 60s again. The overnight temperature is also in the 40s, though. It's going to be cool for you guys. You might have to click up the heater. And for those folks without power, it's not going to be very comfortable. 64 for Greenfield, 65 in King City on the peninsula. More low 60s and a 50 for the overnight there for Big Sur. Not a very big thermometer. 63 in Santa Cruz, 62 also in Watsonville. Tonight, your forecast, as I mentioned, South County, light rain for those folks going down there. Decreasing clouds for most areas and a chance for fog to develop here. As you can see, going into a chilly start for tomorrow. Winds are going to be fairly light. Thank goodness. All right, here you have it. There's your rainfall sneaking in for Tuesday and Wednesday, going to much fewer clouds for Thursday and a weekend. Looking nice for everybody, guys.
All right. We'll have a sunny weekend after this rainy one. Thanks, Art. Appreciate it. Mike Fertani here with sports.
Hey, just ahead, the local man wins the California International Marathon. Blacked out Raiders play the Browns, and the 49ers play the tough St. Louis Rams. It's not a great day for Colin Kaepernick.
Now, Action News 8 Sports.
It's Sunday, so let's talk NFL. The San Francisco 49ers went to St. Louis to play the Rams. Last time these two teams met 3 weeks ago, it ended up in a tie, and Alex Smith lost his job after he sustained a concussion. His replacement, Colin Kaepernick, played well in the 2 weeks after and was anointed the starter by head coach Jim Harbaugh. And as suspected, this would be another tough game for both teams. Could the young quarterback keep his hot streak going? Cut to the second half. Niners up 7-0 in the third quarter on 1st and 10. The Rams forced Kaepernick to throw the ball away to avoid the safety, but by the rules, it's a safety anyway. Not a great decision there by Kaepernick. Rams get 2 points and trail 7-2. Then in the fourth quarter, Niners up 10-2. Kaepernick with the horrible pitch to Ted Ginn Jr. over his head, and it's recovered by Janoris Jenkins, who goes in for the Rams touchdown. Rams get a 2-point conversion. You'll see the highlight right here, and the game would be tied. So then we would go into overtime, tied 13-13, and guess what? The Rams kick a 54-yard field goal and win the game in overtime. San Francisco loses 16-13. This will indeed lead to more debate about the 49ers quarterback situation, although Harbaugh says there will be no change. 49ers come home next Sunday to face the Miami Dolphins at Candlestick Park. Raiders hosted the Cleveland Browns at the Coliseum on Oakland, although you may not have seen it since it was blacked out. Cleveland scores right here, and they might have been doing you a favor by blacking this game out. Brandon Weeden to Josh Grodin. Touchdown Browns, and they led 10-0. Raiders do come back a little, though, down 13-3. Carson Palmer will step back in the pocket and throw over the top to Rod Streeter, who takes it in for the 64-yard touchdown. But Oakland loses as usual, 20-17, fifth loss in a row. They fall to 3-9. Raiders have a short week, and they welcome the Denver Broncos to the Coliseum for a Thursday night game. 30th annual California International Marathon took place in rainy Sacramento this morning. Central Coast native and Big Sur Marathon winner Daniel Tapia wins the marathon with a time of 2 hours, 16 minutes, and 30 seconds. Tapia, a member of the elite team of Sacramento Running Association, which puts on the race, becomes the first American man to win the race since 1999. And in golf, final round of the PGA World Golf Challenge in Thousand Oaks, California, your soggy winner is Graham McDowell. He birdies 18 to go 17 under par to win by 3 strokes with a round of 68 and to win the tournament. And that's sports.
Thank you, sir. We had a lot of sports. We got a lot of weather, too. Do we have time for a last look at weather? No? Rain done?
You just look at me. I'll just say sunny with partly cloudy skies.
Everyone likes that. We have a lot of fun. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you at 11.
Bye-bye.